plan that we looked at last fall. You want to get to page 3. This is the revision. And what we're looking at now is Centennial Hall having the stage and storage areas on the north end pulled out completely, with the possibility then that we would actually see a Rejoice worship space grow from about 210 to 350 seats. The new platform for the band and for the altar would be on the far right, the far east side of the building. That's actually within the footprint of the existing Centennial Hall. The yellow fellowship area is what is currently courtyard. The courtyard is space in our building that is beautiful and hardly ever used for anything. It becomes repurposed as a 2-story fellowship area that now adjoins to the Rejoice worship space. So if Rejoice had to have overflow, it could overflow into the fellowship area. Large glass doors would open and shut between Rejoice worship and fellowship. That fellowship area would continue out the kind of sandy color entrance to the west. There'd be some new construction right at the opening there, and a new walkway and lawn. The current hillside memorial garden would be left intact, and actually would be much more of a feature in this design. The orange classrooms are new. The green is, the light green is the youth center. This is an L-shaped space with an additional room for breakout area. And then we see new bathroom doors at the, right there, that's a major bathroom door. That's another that serves the Sunday school along with the shower and washer dryer. The purple.
Pastor?
Yes.
I think you said those orange classrooms are new. They're not new, are they? Those are remodeled.
Actually, the one that's closest in to the east, to the right, is new, is repurposed space. The one to the left and the small green space above are new construction.
Yeah.
So that's outside of the existing footprint. We then have down at the lower end, the south side, the new office area, which basically takes on some of the existing office areas, but then also creates a central office and a series of offices around it. There's a meeting room within the office area. At the south end, south end of fellowship, the bottom of the fellowship space, there is a hospitality center, a cafe, which comes out from the kitchen and becomes a service area for fellowship. If you go to the next slide, this is the upper level. Again, the blue is our worship space where we are right now. The yellow to the west of it is the existing narthex. But what happens now is that the area that is currently restrooms, parlor, a couple of the classrooms, all gets opened up to fellowship space that looks down over a balcony onto the fellowship space below. To the entry area and to the new fellowship room, also looking off toward Rejoice. We developed a new music center on the second floor. This will be rehearsal space and office, probably a little more square footage than we're seeing there, so that it at least replicates, if not grows a little bit, the space we have now. If you go to the next slide, what you see is the purple is all existing footprint. The blue is new construction. So the blue is the courtyard, that's the fellowship area, that's all new construction. And then at the entry, one of the classrooms, a small breakout area for youth, and part of the entry are new construction. And the last slide in this group shows the new construction again, the new entry area, as well as the courtyard, which is now fellowship space. One of the features of this plan, before we look at the particular images, is that the upstairs fellowship and the downstairs fellowship are joined. The upstairs fellowship actually has a balcony that looks out on the fellowship area below and a stairway down. You actually start to connect the building and the congregations. Traditional and Rejoice aren't quite as separated in this. We also get a significant amount of new gathering area in these fellowship spaces for classes, for small socials, for other things. The fellowship space on the ground level actually becomes overflow for Rejoice worship. It also becomes gathering area for the youth center, which is just inside there, and it serves basically as the hub for the whole building. If we could go on to another image now, let's look at the new exterior shot up at the top there.
Hey, Pastor Rob.
Yes.
You said overflow for Rejoice. How many people could fit in Rejoice then with the overflow?
If you use the whole fellowship room as overflow for Rejoice, according to our architect specs, you're probably looking at 550 to 600.
Excellent.
That'd be packed to the walls, but that would be a possibility. So this is the new image of the exterior. Much of it's very familiar. What you see that's new is the new entry level, which picks up on the architectural arches of our building. It's a much smaller scale than the one you saw last fall. It actually seems to blend more effectively into the architecture. And then in front of Centennial Hall, you'll see that two-story fellowship space there in what was courtyard. There's a couple of new classrooms here at the entry as well. Let's go to fellowship. So this is the courtyard. To the left, you're looking into, that's to the east, the Rejoice worship space. To the right, kind of out in your line of sight, is the new entry. You have a stairway up to the upstairs fellowship, which comes off the narthex into a gracious area to gather. The refreshment center or cafe is on the far end of this image, in the back there to the south. Let's go to the Rejoice worship space. Worship at the bottom there. This would be the look from the fellowship area into Rejoice worship. The new platform, it's small but large enough for the whole band, as well as altar and font. We would have the Rejoice worship in a space that wouldn't be torn down every week. It's available space. It would be designed to be flexible so that there would be the possibility of opening it all up for a major dinner of 300 or 400 people. We can't do that now. But most of the time, Rejoice worship would stay set up. Band equipment, monitors, drum kit, all that stuff would remain in place. Right now, our volunteer musicians with Rejoice bands spend many hours every week tearing down and setting up for rehearsal and for worship, in addition to their times to rehearse and lead worship. The goal would be shifting Rejoice to a single service, perhaps a 9:15 service, perhaps 9:30, taking aim at the old scheduling of traditional at about 10:30. Let's look at the upstairs. This is a view from just outside the narthex. You notice that ceiling feature? That's right over there. This is new gathering space on the second level. At the far end of it, you come to the stairway that goes down. What you're looking over the balcony here to is the new entry area. So there's a significant amount of openness and a significant amount of adjacency. Things are brought together in ways they're not now. We lose a lot of hallways, we gain a lot of space. And then let's look at the charrette. Yep. Yes. This is going to be the animated piece. Might take a moment. Expand it. So here you're taking a look at the new entry area, which comes in from the west. That's that towering vaulted piece. You're seeing the new fellowship area next to Centennial Hall, with glass to the north, which brings in very favorable light. You're looking at existing building for the most part. The only places that are new are what was in the courtyard and a little bit of this entry here on the west. The new entry now on the lower level has a more diminutive shape compared to the sanctuary entry, but we think that's favorable also. It's about a 15-foot wide entry here. As you come into the building, to the right you'll have the new office floor. The central office or main office will be behind the glass, and then individual offices along the walls behind. To your left, as you go down this hallway, are a couple of new classrooms and or meeting rooms. Now you've moved into fellowship. This is the existing courtyard. Now becomes a major fellowship room. A room not much different in size than the existing floor of Centennial Hall. It's a big space. There's a stairway that goes up to fellowship on the second floor, and a lot of natural light coming in from the north, which is not glaring light, it's healthy light for bringing in natural light to the space. You see some kind of moving glass doors between fellowship and Rejoice worship. And the Rejoice worship center with a couple of screens with a platform in the front. That even includes a little ramp behind, so it's barrier-free. The stairway that goes up, there's the little cafe refreshment area on the south end of fellowship. I believe we're about to go upstairs. That's back to the west entrance. And then we just go ahead and jump up and start to look through what is the gathering area. That's the top of the stairs where we are right now. They go down to fellowship from the second level, this level of the building. And then the possibility of this nice expansive space on the second level for additional fellowship. This is actually an area large enough up here on top for small gatherings, small socials. Some of the detail is not in there. There's a new restroom core just to your left right now. And again, if you look now to the left, you're looking back into the existing narthex through glass doors. That ceiling feature kind of roots into where we are in the building.
Did we just pass the library?
The parlor is gone.
The library.
The library is actually going to be in shelving along the wall here in this open area. You did see some shelving there, yeah. The parlor is removed. There's a significant amount of walls and hallways disposed of to open up the building so that we can have flexible fellowship on multiple levels. There's the possibility of additional stained glass.